All right, welcome guys. In this video, we're going to see the Wolfe wave. I'm going to be as quick as possible and as brief as possible. So let's get right into it. This version of it is a bullish pattern. The price would be coming from the top and coming down to bounce, do the first bounce, which is going to be wave one, and then do a second one, third and fourth. From that point on, you can start tracing your lines and then hope that it's going to turn into a Wolfe wave, but because it's not yet. So you have to be patient with this. And then after the fourth wave, it's going to go do the fifth one, and if and only if it actually goes beyond the support in this case, sometimes it's going to be the resistance if you do the opposite side. I'll show you an image later on. If it goes beyond and comes back inside of the wedge, then you can start looking for buys on smaller time frames. And once this is done, you have two additional information that you can get from this pattern that sometimes work, sometimes don't. But the idea is that you're going to trace a line between the bottom of wave one and the top of wave four, and then take this line and make what is called the EPA, which is the estimated price at arrival. And then if you take the wedge and you bring it all the way until the lines all the way until they touch, then you have the ETA, which is the estimated time of arrival. And if you take the point of this with the estimated time price of arrival, you should have a squaring of price and time, a bit like Gann did in the old days. So that's how you make the target. So now let's look at another image that's going to show you. So you have this one is from the top. So it's going to be a sell signal. So you have wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fifth goes beyond the resistance. In this case, earlier it was the support, and then it comes back inside, and you have your sell, not a signal, but your sell indication that you should look at smaller time frames and start to look for an opportunity to sell. And then you take wave 1 to wave 4, and then you have your EPA, and then you take your profit at that point. This pattern can give you 10 baggers. Like if you take your reward versus risk ratio, you can get 10 to 1 sometimes on some trades. So it's you have an opportunity to make really big profits if you have a small account and you're able to ride it. There are some caveat to it. Also, I'll explain it into the examples that we'll see later. Second image, this is the opposite. So this is like we saw in the first one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth, it goes beyond. You buy at this point and take your profit at the line that you've created by connecting wave 1 and 4. So let's move on to some examples. All right, so we are here. So we have a trend here, and then we have a first wave. We connect that, we go get the relative low, and then the new high, and then a relative low, and now we're heading towards a new high. We don't know where the fifth wave is gonna stop, but we're gonna wait for it anyways to come back inside of the trend line that we're gonna trade. So now we can trace our trend lines. There's one here, and then we connect 2 and 4 together, and that gives us a cross. And I'm not gonna get too picky here. I could make this all nice and tidy, but speed is of the essence here. So this is the crossing of the two. So now we have our ETA. We have the time at which we should see the low, and now we're gonna trace a trend line between 0.1 and 0.4. And this is going to give us the squaring of price and time as Gann would have done it in the old days, sort of, kind of. So as you can see here, you can't just short this right away. I guess you can, but you have to be aware of the risk. If you would have shorted this right away on this bar, you would have had a loss for sure. And this is why I really recommend that you use small time frames to determine an ideal price pattern that you can enter, like a pennant or a break of an important support or something like that, and risk less than what you see on the large scale map. But once you see a close inside, like we had two close, this close and this close, these were two opportunities. From this moment on, you can start looking for a pattern to get in, and it doesn't matter if you lose a bit of money on the way in, because this is such a lucrative pattern that you can make 10-to-1 ratio like I was explaining. So you can square this up, and this would have been your moment of exit in that zone here. Here's another example. So here we see we have 2 highs and we have 3 lows here. So we can connect those if we want. So let's just put our numbers together. So this is wave 1, then we have wave 2. We want to connect that high and that low. And then this is going to be the 5th wave somewhere in there. So if we connect wave 1 and wave 3, let's put that in blue. Old habits die hard. And then wave 2 and wave 4. And now we can move on to see if ever it makes a Wolfe wave, then we'll be ready. Like right now we don't trade this, but if ever price goes up and then we see it stalls and comes back in, then we can look for an opportunity to sell. So, and this is where the limitations of this pattern are, and this is why I wanted to show you this example, because as you can see, the pennant is super long. Not the pennant, but the wedge. So this is our 5th wave. And now if we connected wave 1 and 4, it would go all the way there. You see? So as you can see, you can sometimes limit your profits considerably if you liquidate directly there. But at the same time, sometimes it fizzles out and then reverses right away, and you could have made money there as well. So what I do as a habit is I sometimes do a 618 of the 5th wave, the 0.5 to 0.4, and I take some profits off over there, and then I ride the rest and see where it takes me according to shorter time frames. I look for opportunities to take my profits. So that's it for this video. This was the Wolfe wave. If you enjoyed this, if this is a type of content you want to see, leave a comment in the comments below. Let me know that this is what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.